frankly, there's a lot of sociopaths out there.
Right.
And
increasing, I think, as you move up the corporate ladder, the ratio of psychopath to normal person increases.
And that's become devastating to me. And I feel like I'd rather somebody, God bless them, somebody should help them. I just don't know that I want it to be me.
Right.
And so I think trying to find the good-hearted, good-natured, smart, curious, open leaders who understand that leading a journey of transformation is as much about their own formation as it is the formation of their organizations and around them, and how much they have to be transformed as much as they have to transform what's around them.
Right.
And I think the leaders who understand that that's a real part of what they're doing are the best fits for us.
How do you find those people? I mean, I work a little closely with Marshall Goldsmith, and he's said as much, the success he has in coaching comes down to smart client selection as much as anything else. He's like really particular about who he chooses to say yes to. And it's good to kind of have that clarity. But when you're sitting down and you're meeting somebody for the first time and they're like, we're going to hire you and we're going to pay you a chunk of money for it, how do you have the discipline to figure out, I think this person's a good fit, or, what, we should step aside?
There's a couple of things I look for. One is how hard can they be pushed? So usually in our, the sales cycle for one of our engagements can be upwards of 6 months to a year because we're de-risking a very large and intimate relationship and a large and not inexpensive, journey. So, sometimes the journey to get to closure on an engagement is not, it's not a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so over the course of a journey, at some point, our belief is consult and help first, sell later. And at some point, the meter just turns on.
Right.
But I think the determination of whether or not to turn it on comes from, can they take feedback? Are they open to challenging their assumptions? Is their opening posture one of, I already know, or I don't know?
Right.
Are they, is there a sense of humility and curiosity there?
Yes.
How do they talk about their people? Is there a sense of, however they're describing their pain, is there insight? Is there a naivete? Is there a dismissal of others' views?
Right.
How much of what have they tried before in terms of solving the challenges they're facing?
Got it.
What experience do they have with consultants and coaches? And what is their orientation to help, to receiving help, and what is their orientation to learning?
Right.
And I think once you begin to size up those kinds of things, I think you're getting a picture of what kind of journey is this going to be.
Nice.
How do they make decisions? How do they construct choices? Are they hyper impulsive? Are they hyper overly reflective and overly data driven? Is there a blend of how they include others and trust their gut?
And what are you looking for as red flags? Because for me, if you're like, okay, are you intuitive or are you data driven? I'm not sure if I'm in the process of selecting a client that's going to influence me one way or other. It's good data to know the impact they're having. But is it going to influence whether I say yes or no to them as a client? Not for me. But there's other things that you flagged where I'm like, the way you've just been dismissive of your team or your boss, and that, you've shown up with a kind of cynical sarcasm around that, that's maybe a red flag for me. So are there 2 or 3 particular red flags? It's like, oh, I see that. Let's slowly back out of the room at this stage.
Sometimes I actually run out of the room.
Right.
There's the presence of pathology, right? So am I seeing a real undiagnosed, deep sense of narcissism here? How many questions do they ask versus how many declarative sentences do they make?
Nice.
Are they trying to tell me that they already have the answer?
Right.
How fearful are they? Is there levels of fear that reach neuroticism or paranoia? So if there's any sense of pathology there, then I'm going to refer them to a clinician.
Yeah, nice. Hey, it's MBS here. Look, if you picked up my new book, How to Begin, Start Doing Something That Matters, and you're like, I like this, or even if you haven't yet picked it up, you should go check out howtobegin.com. There's a bunch of additional resources, videos, templates that you can download to really help you get started on the stuff that matters.